Hi, Dr. Henry. I know that you've touched on this before, but I'm hoping you can elaborate a little bit today. It's to do with Halloween, and with the occasion fast approaching, there are a lot of parents trying to decide what to do about trick-or-treating. You know, do they take their children? Do they skip it this year? Do they only go to a few homes, or maybe only visit family members' homes? I'd like to know what your advice is for those parents as they're really grappling with this issue.
Yeah, and we've been hearing about that across the country. And, you know, we did talk about this a week and a half ago. We have some good information for parents and for communities on the BCCDC website again, bccdc.ca, and it has events and Halloween. We have some really specific things in there. So what I would say is it depends a little bit on your own situation in your community. So keep it local, keep it small, keep small groups. And if you do want to have that trick-or-treating experience for children, very small groups, look at your neighborhood, do something in your own community. If that's not going to work, or if you have a community where people aren't into that, then we need to respect that too. And this may be a time, there's lots of great things we can do with having small family Halloween hunts in our house, and rather than going out or watching a movie instead of trick-or-treating. So I think there are lots of options, and some of them are up on the options that we provide on the BCCDC website. I think we have to be mindful as well that some of those communities where the whole street would get involved, or a whole building would get involved, or in the mall where they had indoor events, those are not going to be recommended this year. We want to keep things small with your small group, but there is ways, if there's a street or a part of your community that wants to get involved, to have outdoor small numbers with things pre-packaged for kids. But I think there's lots of great ways that we can do it just with our own family, and the idea of going to close family or the people that are in your community bubble and keeping it small this year is going to be really important.
Claudia, do you have a follow-up? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Claudia.
Along the same lines of advice, but perhaps this time to the people who typically hand out candy, I imagine that many of them may decide to skip it this year, not to hand out the candy to reduce any chance of getting ill. What is your recommendation to those people? Should people avoid it, or can this be done in a safe manner, and if so, how?
Yeah, I think everything can be done in a safe manner. We know a lot about what are the things that make things safe. So we don't want kids to be digging in a bowl. We don't want to bring them into the house. So if you're going to have candy, set it up outside. Find a place where you can put a table out and have individual packages that children can pick up. Or I saw some really innovative things. There was some people using a hockey stick, which is of course very Canadian, or a slide tube into a children's bucket. So I think there's lots of things that we can do to keep those distances. It's making sure that we're keeping our distances. Outside is better than inside. Small groups. So if children are going trick-or-treating, then they need to be one or two, not the group of 10 or 15 like may have happened. And we really don't want people crowding together. So if parents are going with their kids, keep it small. Make sure it's just your bubble, and don't have it outdoors rather than inside, and pre-packaged in single packages so that there's not a lot of mixing and touching. And of course, the really important thing on International Hand Washing Day is to make sure that we clean our hands before we open anything, after touching things, before we eat any of the candy.